Hey guys, it's Laura, and as of today, I have completed 63 days or 9 weeks of the Modified 75 Hard Challenge. As you should know by now, the 75 Hard Challenge is a 75-day challenge created by Andy Frisella. Participants have to complete 5 tasks every day for 75 days, and if they miss any of the tasks for any reason, they have to restart the 75 days. The tasks are taking a progress photo, drinking a gallon of water, doing 2 45-minute workouts, one of which must be outside, sticking to a diet with no cheat meals and no alcohol, and reading 10 pages of a nonfiction self-help book. I feel like I'm really in the home stretch over here. I actually have less than 2 weeks left to go with this challenge. I don't have a heck of a lot to say today about how the challenge has been going this week. What I will say is that I kind of feel like at this point I'm just coasting to try to get to the end of the challenge. I don't really feel like I'm challenging myself that much. I feel like the place where this coasting mindset is the most apparent is in the 2 45-minute workouts, because for all of my workouts this week, I've just done walks. I haven't done yoga, I haven't done runs, I haven't done Pilates, I've just been doing walks. And not to say that these walks are short or, not particularly difficult. Just yesterday, for example, I somehow just walked 25,000 steps. And I wasn't really trying to hit a step goal or anything like that. I just happened to be walking around all day. But I just find that for myself, walks are the most enjoyable exercise and the easiest exercise to do. So in choosing to do all of these walks this week, I feel like I'm just not physically challenging myself. I would honestly say even yoga was more challenging to myself mentally and physically than walks are. And of course, different people might feel differently. We all have different abilities, but I just really feel like I'm not impressed with myself this week. And I guess at the end of the day, all I'm trying to do is complete these 5 tasks every day. It doesn't really matter how I complete those tasks, but I just feel like the effort is not there the same way that the effort was there in previous weeks. The last couple weeks, as you know, I've just felt very exhausted and tired and mentally done with this challenge. So that mentality has definitely persisted. And I'm very happy that the finish line is so close in sight. I also feel like I've kind of been slacking with the progress photos. Like my progress photos used to be the first thing that I did in the day when I woke up. But now I often won't take the photo in the morning. I'll just wait till the end of the day before I go to bed and take a photo. And it's very half-assed. I have been thinking more and more about whether I'm going to maintain these habits in my day-to-day life once 75 Hard is over. I think definitely I'm going to be sticking with an exercise regime and also a diet, because as I mentioned in previous videos, I've been sticking to a diet and exercising consistently since the beginning of the year. I definitely know that I'm not going to be taking progress photos every day. I kind of feel like that rule is a little bit pointless. And I'm 100% sure that I'm not going to be setting a 90-ounce water goal for myself. I don't think I mentioned it at the beginning of the video, but I did make one modification to the 75 Hard Challenge for myself, which is instead of drinking a gallon of water, I'm only drinking 90 ounces of water. But yeah, I think that 90 ounces is just not an enjoyable amount of water to drink. I don't necessarily think I'm seeing any benefit from it, at least not enough of a benefit to justify the effort it takes to drink 90 ounces of water every day. And I think to a lot of people, 90 ounces does not sound like a lot of water. It sounds like, I'm complaining for nothing. But I just think that it goes to show that different people will struggle with different aspects of this challenge. There are definitely going to be people that say, the workouts are the most difficult part of the challenge for them. But for me, pretty consistently throughout the 63 days that I've done this challenge, the toughest part of the challenge has definitely been the water. For the reading aspect of this challenge, I'm still reading Bird by Anne Lamott. I'm really trying to pace myself with this book because I want it to be the last book that I read for this challenge. So I've really been trying to stick between 10 and 20 pages every day. As I mentioned in my last video, I read this book 10 years ago and it did not make any impression on me because I actually ended up donating it after I read it. But this time that I'm rereading it, I do actually feel like there's a lot of good writing advice in here. And I have been highlighting passages, and I feel like in general, I'm getting more out of this book now than I did, when I read it previously. So that's good. I actually do feel like there kind of has been like a fundamental shift in the way that I think about the reading rule of this challenge. Like in one of my very first videos, when I was still reading my second book of the challenge, I talked about how I didn't think that the reading was very enjoyable. I didn't really like reading nonfiction. And I basically just forced myself to get through the 10 pages and then I would stop reading. And I wasn't really engaging with the books in the same way that I would if I was reading at a leisurely pace instead of forcing myself to read every day. But I do feel like my mentality has kind of shifted towards the reading rule. Maybe it's just because these last 3 books that I've picked to read I really like, and maybe I didn't resonate so much with the first 2 books that I read in the challenge, so getting through them felt like a bit of a chore. But with these last 3 books that I've read, I have felt very engaged with what I've been reading and I have really thoroughly enjoyed the books. And I feel much less skeptical about having a reading goal every single day. So in terms of whether I will continue making reading goals for myself moving forward, I definitely think I'm going to give myself goals. I don't know if it's going to be I have to read a certain amount of pages every day, or if it's going to be a goal more along the lines of I need to read this amount of books in a year. I used to set reading goals for myself when I was in undergrad, and I kind of fell off of those annual reading goals when I started law school because there just was not the same amount of time to dedicate towards hobbies. But I think if this challenge has taught me anything, it's really that, you have so much more time in a day than you think, and if you put your mind to something, you can do it. So I do think that I am going to start setting myself reading goals again in one way or another. But yes, this is my update for week 9 of my modified 75 hard challenge. I actually only have 2 more videos to make after this one, which is like very exciting. I hope that you enjoyed this update and I will see you next week. Bye.